The internet peaked 10 years ago. Okay. Is this going to be a boomer going down nostalgia lane? Because if so, I'm here for it.
This video was brought to you by Squarespace. From YouTube to memes and flash games, you might think the golden age of the internet...
Happy Wheels. Take me back to Jacksepticeye playing Happy Wheels. Oh, we're doing it. We're doing it. Oh, this is... No. I don't want old sad Jack. I want where you had the driving cap on. Oh my god.
Top of the morning to you laddies. My name is...
Look at him. He's a little fetus. Top of the morning to you laddies. My name's Jacksepticeye.
My name is Jacksepticeye.
This YouTuber called PewDiePie gave me a shout out.
Welcome to Happy Wheels. Yeah, I finally got around to playing it. I have...
Beautiful. It was a simpler time. Bro, you know what I love so much as well? YouTubers would do this thing where they would do Let's Plays. They would do hundreds and hundreds of Let's Plays, and each one would only be like 10 to 15 minutes long. Ugh. It was an easier time, man.
It is behind us. But when exactly was it? The 2000s? 2010s? Could you even pinpoint a single year? I'm hoping I can by the end of this video.
Okay, just don't talk about the MLG. Yep, it's right there. Don't talk about that era.
But it's not going to be easy. I asked you guys, and out of 5,000 responses, one period stood out from the rest.
There's no way you're saying, like, the current gen. 2% said current gen with, like, Has Been Hotel, COVID, and Deltarune. You've got COVID, Spamton, and then Joker. 2%. They were definitely born within the past 5 years. Like, there's no doubt, man.
Whether it was the bizarre nature of early viral videos or their creators, there was something about the early 2010s that felt different. I want to find out what, and whether it deserves that reputation. Because if we figure out what made the internet so special, maybe we can understand what it lost, and if we can ever get it back. I started off by cutting the decade in thirds. I think there's 3 really distinct eras, but only one of them was peak. From the edgy phase to the...
This photo. What do they call themselves again? The Shrimpson Boys? There was some collective name. It included Dolan as well, because Dolan was always like an extension of these guys. Obviously, he just doesn't show his face. Yeah, it was the Shrimpson Boys, that's right.
To the early days, I'm revisiting all of them to find out what was really going on, to find the exact moments where things changed. And what better place to start than here? The year is 2010.
Yeah, I gotta do another Instagram post where I kiss Chad again. Just happens every day because I'm moving to Melbourne.
No one has more than like 2 million subscribers. There's roughly half as many people even using the internet, and cats are the pinnacle of human.
Can I has cheeseburger? Bruh, you talking about Can I has cheeseburger? You're not talking about the best meme of all time, Chemistry Cat? I remember my science teacher was using Chemistry Cat to teach us, like, physics. These are hilarious, by the way, guys. Look at this. Oxygen and magnesium. OMG. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. We need like a laughter track for this one. We need a good long laughter track. 10 hours of crowd laughing. This could be a good one. It's just silence. Okay. What do we got? What do you get when you cut an avocado into 6 times 10, 23? No, I haven't made the joke yet. 6 times 10, 23 pieces. Guacamole. Tough crowd. Is silicon the same as Spanish? C. Chemistry Cat does it on the table periodically. Fucking tough crowd. Oh my god. All right. We need a different one. We need a different one. How about this one? Alright. Haven't made the joke yet, guys. Hang on. That'll be $5 for the electron. That'll be $5 for the electrons. I haven't made the joke yet. The neutrons are free of charge. I know, it's so funny. That one sucks. I'm not even reading that one. Why did the white bear dissolve in water? Because it was polar. You talk funny when you breathe helium. Hehehe. That one's funny. If H2O is water, what is H2O for? Answer in the comments. What the fuck is that one? What did the angry electron say when it was repelled? Let me atom. It would have been an April Fool's joke if the upvotes were exponential. What do you do with a dead chemist? Bury him. That was hilarious. All right, what else we got? Poured a root beer into a square glass. Result was beer. A physicist, biologist, and a chemist went to the ocean for the first time. The physicist saw the ocean and was fascinated. He said he wanted to research the fluid dynamics of the waves and walked into the ocean. He drowned and never returned. The biologist said he wanted to do research on the flora and fauna inside the ocean and walked inside the ocean. He too never returned. The chemist waited for a long time and wrote the observation. Physicists and biologists are soluble in ocean water. Oxygen, hydrogen, sodium, what's my name? How does Chemistry Cat celebrate Valentine's Day? Iodine, helium, argon, tellurium, uranium. It's so funny. Don't do the rotten fruit, man. Like, come on. We didn't have many memes back then. We had that, like Slenderman and Migusta Trollface. That's it. That's all we had. We didn't have a lot to work with, okay? Settle down.
Feel different. But it's not just because of the stuff people are posting. There are deep functional differences with the internet that we'll expose later on. But first, let's get familiar with our surroundings, starting with the site you're on right now. From its 5-star rating system to the era of viral...
Oh my god. Bring back 5-star rating systems that made no sense. Also, bring back video reply girls. They were hilarious.
Videos, early YouTube was bizarre. For starters, you could do some pretty simple things that would seem alien today, like personalizing your channel. You weren't limited to just the banner and profile picture. The background, layout, and general aesthetic were up to you, which gave creators a lot more control over their homepage. If you...
That looks so much cooler. It looks really dated, obviously, but that's like a Steam profile, right? Having that huge background.
were online...
Now what you get is a sad little banner. Like, the banners suck. Like, what's my banner on my main channel again? Yeah, it's literally just... There was one time I was playing Crash Bandicoot, and it took me 40 minutes to beat a level, and I missed one crate, and I was so molded, I just screenshot it, and I set it as my banner.
At the time, you might remember this from Smosh or Fred. In general, there was a larger focus on fostering
Sup, bro?
communities.
Look at that. Smosh, sup, bro? Epic glasses. I like how Ray William Johnson has actually changed the least. Like, he just has not aged a day. It's actually terrifying.
Between creators and subscribers. You weren't just picking and choosing topics from randoms. You were actively following and being served content from your subscriptions. Speaking of which, if you want to join the largest group of Fruitagooners on the internet, consider subscribing. Anyway, people followed...
Bruh, did you use the green screen template and not remove the green screen?
Consider subscribing. Anyway, people followed people. This was encouraged by features like the
Ray does shorts. Yeah, he does like AI slap shorts now.
channel page, where viewers could leave comments directly on a creator's profile. You know how on Instagram people can do those video responses that show up in the comments? Well, YouTube had a similar thing going on. Under any popular video, there was a reasonable chance you'd find a bunch of people linking their responses. It offered a great way for people to hear the other side of an argument or even just get additional context. Being the internet...
Well, the reason why they got rid of that is because reply girls would just hijack it. Because you could reply with videos, but it would just always be women like showing their big mummy milkers in the thumbnail to get like little kids to click on it and be like, oh, a wooga. And they saturate the entire video reply thing, so they just had to pull it.
Though, this feature would quickly become problematic. A couple of innovative, business-minded individuals figured out that spamming replies on popular videos featuring their massive, well-rounded takes would give them easy traffic. This was known as the Reply Girls controversy, and in many ways, it never really left us. Anyway, while most of the site was still dominated...
I still find it crazy that Twitch added a whole category just for hot tub streamers. Like, that's such a cope.
By short viral videos, the early 2010s saw the explosion of something completely unexpected. The YouTuber. Suddenly, people...
Look at him. Is that PewDiePie? Look at that chair that's like too high for him. So one of those little kids like sat in those like McDonald's chairs.
weren't just getting one or two breakout hits. They were
I
doing
remember this interview. Bruh, he's got Cry of Fear on the screen based. You don't even full screen it as well, idiot.
it again and again. And now it was paying them. While a handful of channels achieved this in the late 2000s, it was finally starting to become a legitimate career for thousands. Big names like Smosh, Ray William Johnson, Jenna Marbles, and PewDiePie cemented their place in
The fact that Machinima was that high at one point, that just shows how bad that system was. Thank you, nicest Pyro fan, for the 10. You're fat as well, fatty. Jenna Marbles, Freddie. God, all these... Most of these people were in, like, Creator Clash, right? I mean, Freddie Wong pulled out. Epic Mealtime. Real Annoying Orange. FPS Russia.
YouTube history and set the stage for the chaos to come.
Read the third one. Yeah, Smush.
Overall though, there was less of an established content meta, and anything from skits to low-budget Let's Plays had a place. Importantly, a lot of this early content was being made for a single reason: fun. The future didn't guarantee monetization, so none of these guys really knew if they had a long-term career. So many people only made stuff because they actually enjoyed making.
Are you sure? Is that the video showing, like, the Xbox 720? Oh my god, you guys remember that? Xbox 7... I can't even show the PS5 because it's real now, but the Xbox 720... It's just like, bruh. How would... Bruh. Oh. Dude, I bought one of those. The Xbox chat message thing. Because I thought if you bought one of those, you could use console commands in, like, Half-Life and stuff. I got baited hard.
Making it. This gave creators a more down-to-earth, authentic presence. Still, the minute that serious money entered the picture, things were bound to change. Several events were set in motion that changed the trajectory of the site forever.
I'd say Ray William Johnson was always someone that had a company, though. Like, he did make videos in his bedroom originally, but he got a company pretty quickly, I'd say. PewDiePie was one of the last people to kind of... Well, he always kind of just did Let's Plays.
But we aren't there quite yet. The shelf life of the troll face has been borderline insane. It popped up for the first time in 2008,
Oh my god, I love Troll Science, dude. Troll Science is so good.
and you can still spot it lurking in the depths of YouTube
Oil floats on water. Wait for rain. Cover yourself in oil. Fly.
shorts. Edited over Tom and Jerry clips from the 1940s. Team Tom Chad. Is Tom smart? Huh? I'm famous. Dad. Oh, he's still gone. By the early 10s, memes were no longer in their embryonic
Please talk about the Tumblr era back then as well.
I heard
Please.
you mention
and 2000s. Many
So true. Actually, so true.
formats that originated on sites like 4chan and Reddit had been unleashed on the general populace. This led to the mainstream popularity of rage comics and those top text, bottom text memes with the color wheel backgrounds. Importantly, these all followed similar patterns and leaned on pretty conventional humor, meaning that anyone could understand and create their own. As you know, that is
I love that Drake meme.
absolutely not the case anymore. While we continue through the decade, I think we'll find out why that is. Anyway, as each year passed, the landscape kept evolving. Doge, cats with lasers, rainbows, burritos, shooting stars, rickrolling. Stuff was still colorful and simple, but there were plenty of new characters.
Oh, I feel like such a boomer reminiscing, but bruh, we do not know how easy we had it back then.
Formats popping up. This will be relevant later on.
Like, no one even used Twitter back then. It was just boomers. Oh, we had it so easy, bro.
So just take note
We
of
had
how
it so easy. What was the worst thing on the planet then? Like Vine? Oh, there was nothing wrong in the world back then.
long some of these memes were around. Going back to YouTube, a lot of internet humor manifested as YTPs and animations. Things like the Asdf movie series and humorous
That's still going. Dude, I met Tomska when I was doing an event once. He was sharing a stand next to me. Honestly, one of the nicest guys I've ever met in my life. I went to a bar with him afterwards and some of his friends, and my parents met him. Like, honestly, the energy from that guy is just unreal. Like, he is such a nice, down-to-earth guy. I actually don't think I've had a better experience meeting a YouTuber.
music videos fell within a very strong niche. Still, you can argue that a lot of this was just
I stole my IRL name from Tomska because I had a hyperfixation on Ed's World when I came out as trans. I mean, 3/4 of Tomska's fan base are trans, so it kind of adds up.
spilling over from the previous decade, and the 2010s were yet to truly establish their own identity. Considering how chaotic things got from here, you might not be wrong.
Dude, was that fucker right in the... Well, I can't even say it, can I? You showed Leafy and not me? Well, no, I wasn't even a thing back then, true.
Before we leave the early 2010s and dive into perhaps the most bizarre period of internet history, there's a couple things we need to touch on. Firstly, gaming. Flash games were obviously...
Yeah, it's actually crazy how huge Leafy was back then, right? Like, his videos would actually get, like, consistently, like, 3 to 4 million views. It was just wild.
massive, but you started to see something else happening with bigger titles. Thanks to Let's Plays and forums, the development and success of new games became
PewDiePie with Stefano the statue, and he would just always scream barrels.
somewhat intertwined with the internet. I could list a bunch of examples, but why do that when I only need to mention one? Minecraft spread through the web like wildfire almost immediately upon release. By 2012, it was everywhere. This was propelled by YouTubers, theories, and the simple fact that the game was really good. But again, it wasn't just about these
Minecraft will actually never die. Minecraft goes into a coma for a bit and everyone forgets about it, but then 5 years later, 7 years later, it just always comes back again.
bigger hits. If you didn't have access to the
Oh, look, guys, there's no shadows. There's no shadows on the cubes. It's Soul. It's Soul. Look at the low render distance. Soul.
larger titles people were playing, Flash games would
Shadow of Israel. Why did they never finish that, bro? Why did they never finish that series?
fill the void. Happy Wheels, Bloons Tower Defense, shout out to Cool Maths Games, and shout out to the internet in general. From 2010 to 2013, it was undeniably a fun place to be. Things like personalization, the laid-back creative nature of YouTube, and meme culture were exciting and easy
Five Nights. Oh my god, yeah. FNAF is actually that old. Damn.
to engage with. But there's a whole lot more on the horizon, and I can't help the feeling that I've barely scratched the surface. After all, it took only a few short years for things to change completely. The remnants of the old
Are we gonna
internet
talk
would be
about MLG?
almost unrecognizable by the end of this next period. But before we dive into that insanity, a quick word from today's sponsor. Whether you're a
FNAF on this is insane, bro. Come on. That's like putting Mr. Beast next to Jesus.
business
I can't even tell if you're doing a bit. I can't even... Mr. Beast.
owner, creator, or just like design,
I'm just amazed that FNAF has been going on for so long.
Squarespace has you covered. It's harder than
Also,
ever
what's
to
up,
stand
Richter? Hope
out
you're doing
in a
well.
sea of websites, making their
I'm sorry.
and Flash. It's 2014 now, and top text, bottom text is no longer cutting it. Skits are on the way out, and we've officially begun the slow, deranged descent into brain rot. This is my
I mean, I'd say Filthy Frank was skit-based. It's not like we really retired skits back then.
Shadow of Israel never finished because, apparently, the world fall corrupted.
Shadow of Israel never finished because the world got corrupted. Oh, really? Oh, that's unlucky then. Thanks to 10, Anon.
marked by the increasingly cryptic nature of memes.
Just a like that was comedy back then, by the way, man. We do not know how easy we had it. You just added shades to anything. Like, look, like the one on the bottom left is that terrible. It's now funny again, ironically. It's stretched out fedora. Bro, I remember like saving onto my PC like 20 variations of a fedora. And like weed. It was... ugh.
Things like MLG and, regrettably, the word dank. On the
Dank.
upside, there's more people online and no shortage of interesting stuff to engage with. Unfortunately, not all of this is received well or looked back on fondly, with many creators distancing themselves from this era today. To find out why that is, I think it's time we check back in on YouTube. Behind the scenes, YouTube had been quietly changing its algorithm. As early as 2012,
Is this the change that killed animation channels? It's funny because animation channels have kind of came back now. But, you know, it's like Meat Canyon's killing it. But to be fair, Meat Canyon also has a Patreon that makes him like over, you know, $50,000 a month. So, but yeah, I mean, there's still other ways to do animation now as opposed to when they changed it back then and it just cucked everyone.
watch time became a key metric for determining a video's reach and performance. By 2014, the effects of this were in full swing. The platform was no longer dominated by short viral clips.
Remember when monetization was 10 minutes and not 8? Oh my god, yeah. And then they changed it to 8 and it was like, oh, I get to yap. Hang on one sec. I gotta look at something for this Liver King video going out.
instead providing
Charlie beat you to it. Yeah, that's why the thumbnail for tonight's video is just going to be Critical's face. And I'm going to title it Huge Liver King Update. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, I went onto my channel analytics to see what... you know how YouTube shows you? It will show you 10 videos that your viewers also watch, and it should show, like, a variety of different channels. Every single video was Charlie's. Every single one.
a framework.
So we're going to put the thumbnail as his face. And then I did some skit in the beginning where, like, I'm just voicing over him. And then we talk about other things that Charlie didn't cover, so there's actually some substance.
Where regular, lengthy uploads could thrive. This means long, episodic Let's Plays from established creators, and later down the line, 40-minute drama videos with a dude playing surf. But early on, the meta was pretty
I remember trying to copy Leafy, but I was so bad at surf, I had to use, like, Dying Light and Prototype instead.
simple. PewDiePie, Markiplier, and Jacksepticeye were right on top of it, pumping out playthroughs of horror games like...
Yeah, they were the big three. And it's funny with Jacksepticeye, because didn't PewDiePie literally give him a shout out? And that's the reason why he got so famous?
Slender. This was all fairly unproblematic.
That's crazy.
And the same went for other growing niches on the site. Vlogging, makeup tutorials, educational stuff, reviews.
Here it is.
Dying Light is still peak. Yeah, they just did... They did a... They remastered all the graphics in Dying Light, like, literally yesterday. Which is really good. Because I wanted to do a main channel video on Dying Light 1. Dying Light 2, I don't know, man. I just can't finish it. But Dying Light 1, cracked.
It is very cool. I'll give you a quick look at it. I'll turn it around a bit.
However, beneath this thin, brand-friendly veneer was a growing movement that would ultimately change the course of the website forever.
I feel like Jack would have been famous either way. Yeah, I mean, that's fair to say. But PewDiePie obviously gave him that push.
This story starts off way back on October the 17th, 2006. A video is uploaded by the channel Too Cool For You 92, showing a
This is Filthy Frank's original channel, isn't it?
kid breakdancing. It's only 11 seconds long and we don't see him again for a few years. That is, until this video. It's made by a newer channel called Disaster Music that begins posting short
Do you remember Joji Vlogs? Does anyone remember that? He just walk around like just bullying people in public.
comedic clips. There's a couple gems in there with titles like Tragedy of the Homeless Crap and even useful tutorials like this one. But nobody cared who this guy was yet. Until he put
You guys don't know Joji Vlogs? Guys, come on. He's gonna upload a new video soon, I promise. I promise, he's gonna upload a new video.
Hey guys, upon reviewing my own content in the first vlog, I came to realize that this really isn't an accurate representation of how I actually live.
There's a video where he's just following an old woman in a supermarket or something. I'll see if I can oh yeah, this is it,
You're gonna get. Haha.
How do you like your eggs? Scrambled or fertilized? Alright then.
It was basically just a bunch of vines that he stitched together.
There's nothing like a good cops marathon to remind you that there are trashier people than you, so you can feel real good about yourself.
Yeah, Joji Vlogs is ooh, trip down memory lane there.
Put on the shirt.
I'd like to share with you a little story.
This was the start
He had such a high-pitched voice. Where did that go?
of Filthy Frank, a
Just suddenly developed bronchitis or something.
character and channel made by George Miller.
Who's Filthy Frank? It's over. There's a new gen in the chat, boys. It's over. Shut everything down.
Only a few days after posting this video, he makes a post on Twitter showing the now iconic pink suit. Even crazier is the caption. I bought this last night. This is a total game changer. Internet fame, here I come. And with that, he was well on the way.
Oh yeah, he
Although
actually invented Harlem Shake. That's crazy.
I'm not sure he knew what it was gonna take to get there, the things he'd end up doing. George's videos were intentionally bizarre and offensive, pushing against every boundary and almost seeming like a retaliation against YouTube's increasingly corporatized landscape. He wasn't going for sponsorships or monetization. Frankly, I don't know what he was going for.
Yeah, he had the ultimate good ending of a YouTuber. Like, he quit at his peak and then just went on to do music. Like, he actually made it mainstream.
But he was definitely doing it, and pretty well too. Inevitably, other people began to catch on.
Thank you, Raw, for the 5. PewDiePie gets upset when people say that he made Jacksepticeye blow up and that he kind of would have made it either way. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, he did give Sean a shout out, but yeah, that's fair to say.
Realizing there was still a space for edgy and absurdist humor, iDubbbz donned a green morph suit. PewDiePie
gay.
started talking like this.
Want this apple? Sure, buddy, thank you. You like it? Well, I
And eventually, there was an entire ecosystem of these creators. It's hard to explain if you weren't there, but every time Max Mofo, Frank, and iDubbbz collaborated, it was like the Avengers for the unemployed and casual enjoyers of SJW.
Thank you, good username for the Prime.
Compilations. Keep in mind, we're only a few years in, and we've already gone from cat memes to people baking and eating PewDiePie's ass hair. But what about when they weren't uploading? What was there to watch?
There were so many cake videos, right? There was like vomit cake, hair cake. They've all been deleted now.
Remember that one dude who
Thank you, Rainbow, for the month.
made like 30 videos about Mr. Beast's downfall? This is the end for Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast Pregnant Challenge. That's not a new concept at all. While the drama scene today seems pretty relentless, it was nothing compared to peak 2016. We all, yes,
Please show my channel. Please show my channel.
we couldn't stop watching 20-minute videos of some 20-something dude in his bedroom talking over surf gameplay. In fact, it's been almost a decade, and that's exactly what you're watching right now. Calling out cringe and absolutely
Come on, show my channel. Show my channel.
dismantling it was a huge meta in the mid-2010s. These guys pioneered what we call slop today, and some started arguments that still haven't been resolved. Not all of it was simple commentary though, and creators like iDubbbz and H3H3 added in skits and their own characters.
It's over.
However,
I
while this gender-
actually fell off too much, bro. It's over. Wasn't even a mention.
Format has lived on, many of the older creators were forced to abandon some of their methods. And here's why. Around 2017, the influx of edgy and problematic content on YouTube had kinda come to a boiling point. The cringe was too strong. Other issues on YouTube Kids weren't helping, and the attention brought by several large creators' controversial clips made things even worse. One group was feeling the pressure more than anyone else, and unsurprisingly, it happens to be the only group whose opinion mattered. Advertisers. Companies were pulling out left and right. YouTube responded by tightening policy, and suddenly there was no room for this kind of edgy content. Things changed completely.
Yeah, I remember PewDiePie talking about this on the Trash Taste podcast with Sea-Dog, and I think it was something like he thinks that they all agreed that the demonetization thing would have happened anyway, but what happened with PewDiePie basically just like accelerated it.
In a matter of months. Creators who were already on limited ad revenue were now making close to nothing, and so they stopped. The edgy period collapsed as quickly as it arrived. But what rose from the ashes? How did YouTube actually change after the adpocalypse? We'll come back to that. With so many eyes on drama and edgy creators, YouTube became a prime source for memes. You'd see a lot of green screen formats using YouTubers, and new YTPs were
they
still
were
pulling in
everywhere.
numbers. But things weren't as simple as they used to be, and you could safely call this one of the strangest periods for internet humor. Again, these were no longer simple commentaries on relatable, real-life experiences.
I rented a movie. The previous customer didn't rewind it. What the? What kind of meme is that? Even if that's ironic, it's like, holy boomer.
Almost all of the humor was grounded in or referenced.
Wait, that's my video. That's my video. That's my video. I think that's my video. That's my video. That's my video. I think that's my video. I think that's my video. Wait a minute. 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 I gotta mention. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Oh my god, 46 seconds. Is that my... That isn't my video. No, that isn't my video. That sucks.
Referencing something from the internet. Even a few seconds of an MLG edit had layers of references and insight.
Wait, this is my video. Oh, dude, I'm too old. I can't even tell if it's my videos or not anymore. Guys, come on! Some of you are old heads here. Surely you'll be able to know.
Jokes. As a result, not everyone could
I swear I remember editing this.
really get or appreciate.
Yeah, no, this is my video. This is my video, I remember. No, hang on. We're gonna do a second pass. We're gonna do a second pass. MLG CSGO. It is my video. It is my video. Wait a minute. 10 years ago, bro! 10 years ago! Oh. Racing to the grave.
The joke. Not me though. Pull up an MLG edit. The sound, air horns. What do? YouTube to MP3 dank air horn sound effect, copyright free. Next day, posting MLG edits in the classroom by myself. Laughing. Why? I studied, bro. Still, just like
Every MLG YouTuber becomes a drop shipper. It's a pipeline.
Like the troll face and Doge memes from the early days, there were a few things that stuck around.
Podal did it better. Everyone did it better than me. My MLG videos were always really subpar. I just got lucky because I was basically a little leech, like just, you know, doing commentary videos.
Around for way too long. Did anyone actually find that B-movie shit funny? The entire B-movie, but every time they say B, it gets 10% faster. The entire B-movie, but bass boosted.
It was never funny. Even when it came out, it was never funny.
Still see people copy-pasting the entire B-movie script. There was this collective obsession with repetition, where stuff was just funny because of how drawn out and ridiculous it was. Like, how many We Are Number One remixes did we really need? I definitely think this was the turning point that got us to where we are today. When even the language of memes is abstract and confusing, their value is no longer just comedic.
This was humor back then, by the way, dude.
There's this added layer of feeling like you're part of some special group that understands it. Kind of like when people started making their dark sense of
That person followed me on Instagram pretty recently.
humor part of their personality. The idea that others don't get it is just as much of a draw as the actual entertainment. This started to get pretty bad over the following years, and we'll dig into that soon enough. All in all, the self-titled dank era was in decline by 2017, leaving behind—
It was honestly such, like, MLG videos had such... I remember talking to Max Murphy about this, like, the first time I spoke to him in, like, 2019? No, 2018, maybe? Maybe earlier. But it is just like, dude, MLG videos had the shortest shelf life out of any trend we've ever seen. It lasted like a year.
and some pretty memorable characters. Amidst all of this, another industry had been quietly growing and
I still find it crazy though, man. Like, you know, if people like me and Memulus did not do those MLG videos, like no one would have any idea who we are. That's crazy.
was set to explode. Though I don't think anyone quite expected what we were in for. By the early 2010s, the world had seen its fair share of internet-made artists. Lil B,
I love Lil B. Lil B, Bass God.
Soulja Boy. There were plenty of people going viral with small production teams, leveraging sites like YouTube to bypass the traditional gatekeepers of mainstream music. But
Where's the Playboy Carti?
what happened in the mid-2010s was different. I'm talking, of course, about SoundCloud rappers. Around 2015 to 2016, the scene absolutely blew up, and people heard the names Lil Uzi, Lil Yachty, and XXXTentacion
Lil Yachty was weird, right? Because he was like really famous, then he fell off, but then he actually kind of fell on again.
for the first time. Just like Chief Keef in 2012, everyone was covered in designer, held together by Gucci belts and double cups.
You cannot use the double gulp cup.
If you liked the music, this was a really good time to be online. Thanks to the low barrier to entry, there was a constant stream of new releases, and it felt like artists were breaking out every other day. And honestly, even if you didn't like the music, you couldn't deny it was entertaining. A lot of the biggest rappers today either came up during this period or were directly inspired by it. And in the underground scene, SoundCloud is still the place to be.
NetSpend said something is gonna happen tomorrow.
But this wasn't the only industry to come to life in the mid-2010s. Streaming was quickly gaining traction, and it was finally becoming mainstream. Creators like Sodapoppin, Lyric, and Destiny showed that just like YouTube, live streaming was a
Yeah, Lyric and Soda are still going amazingly strong, man. They got into streaming at the perfect time. They have such a dedicated fan base. It's crazy. Like anytime I see them on Twitch, they've always got like 20 to 30k concurrent.
viable career, and Twitch held all the cards. At the start, it was primarily gaming, but people soon branched out into politics and eventually
Is that Destiny playing CS:GO?
IRL. This wave of content was completely different to anything before it. You weren't watching a carefully constructed, pre-written narrative unfold for 20 minutes and then turning it off. Instead, you could interact with things as they happened, with the added randomness of live entertainment. It's no surprise things took off. But what is surprising is what happened to the internet after 2017. 2018 to 2020 was a weird time for the internet. YouTube Rewind was still a thing, people really hated it then though, Vine was gone and TikTok had taken its place. But this isn't to say
TikTok is that old already? Damn.
nothing interesting happened over those years. In fact, it's quite the opposite. We saw huge creators rise and fall, the beginning of some of today's
Oh yeah, the Tobuscus fall off actually needs to be documented.
most hated practices, and the solidification of the internet as a money-making machine. That being said, some people consider this to be their favorite period online, and we're gonna find out why. How often do you think about thumbnails? Do you ever wonder why we went from
That's a Jay Aubrey video, right? Yeah, he makes really good videos.
Seemingly random stills to whatever the this is. This change has been perhaps one of YouTube's most noticeable. You can pretty easily date a video
I feel this is when irony started to slip in.
judging off these tiny little snapshots. Even compare a modern MrBeast video to one from 2017. While this might seem like a trivial observation, it's representative of what's happened to the entire platform. I remember when I first started
Bruh, I saw this recent video of MrBeast. It's so genius. Like, you can so tell he's had his teeth done. His teeth look really, really nice. But it's actually crazy, like, how different they look. Let me see if I can find it. Look at these pearly whites he's got, man.
How's it going, guys? A week ago, I launched an AI thumbnail tool that helps.
Look at that. I wish I had teeth that white. Look at that.
Make some extra money. And I also want to put out there that I guarantee.
Beautiful. It's like boogie teeth, or those the teeth that they had in that Inspector Gadget film. I wish I had teeth that white.
making videos, I watched this clip of MatPat where he talks about the psychology behind thumbnails. It seemed so obvious while I was watching it, but I never considered how much strategy goes into a single one. There's patterns to how we perceive them, going from the top left to the middle. We respond more to faces with specific expressions. There should be tension, energy, or a story. By the late 2010s, people had more than enough
Nobody. Did you see it?
data to really start min-maxing these. Higher contrast, bigger red arrows, and even more red circles. More recently, MrBeast went back and changed all of his thumbnails to show him smiling with his mouth closed rather than open. Why?
Oh yeah, he said it was like it got more clicks somehow.
Because he has enough data to show that people are slightly more inclined to click this expression. Again, you can easily
Imagine having like a data center collecting all that stuff, man. We just put a thumbnail out and it's like, we hope people will click on it.
trace these practices back to the latter half of the 2010s. If you weren't relying on ye old methods of clickbait, you had to really work to make your thumbnails stand out in an ever-growing crowd. But this had another unintended consequence that you've definitely picked up on. YouTube lost...
Yeah, isn't it crazy how like you could just put boobs in the thumbnail and people would click? And nowadays, with how people are, if you put boobs in the thumbnail, only like a third of people will click.
something. You see, by 2018, the site had well and truly changed.
The internet is becoming woke.
YouTube's 2017 crackdown meant safer, ad-friendly content. The algorithm rewarded frequent, lengthy uploads, and for many, it was no longer a hobby. The evolution of thumbnails exemplifies this change, becoming solely driven by statistics.
Yeah, I hate these kinds. I hate this era of YouTube. I really do. Ugh.
And clickable.
It's so like it's so manufactured. Now this is when we enter the era of it's a business. This isn't a hobby, it's a business.
To no surprise, this was when the site started to develop a reputation for being sanitized and corporate. The stakes were higher, advertisers held
Sterilized is the best term, I think.
more power than ever before, and creators knew this. If you felt like YouTube became less creative here, it isn't just nostalgia. When the threat of demonetization looms over loose boundaries, people don't just avoid pushing them, they don't even look for them. So we've gone from the Stone Age through to MLG, past dank memes, and here we are. There's two new terms to get uncomfortably familiar with. Again, surreal and irony. To get this started, I went to Surreal Memes and did some honorable, independent
I love irony.
YouTube journalism. Right, here's how to make a surreal meme. Surreal memes are essentially dank memes that are so incredibly dank they're on another plane of existence. Surreal memes can be hard to understand for humans at times, but given enough thought, we may be able to find humor in them.
That is such a convoluted way to just say it's unfunny.
Surreal memes are supposed to be hard to comprehend, but are supposed to have some sort of relatable hidden meaning behind them.
Like whoever wrote that was on the seventh gate of cope.
In other words, they were doing the whole high IQ Rick and Morty thing at the same time the high IQ Rick and Morty thing was relevant. Surreal memes tie back to what I was saying earlier about memes starting to revolve around making you feel like part of some secret club. There was a painfully obvious performative element of just look at us and how crazy we are. How many layers of irony are you on? At the time though, these were decent enough and a couple were pretty creative. But surreal memes could only cling on for so long, and compared to what followed, they were perfectly cohesive. Because irony was where things got
Bruh, is that rice gum?
really weird. Humor started to to collapse in on itself maybe around 2018, 2019, with memes becoming a lot more cryptic and nonsensical. I'm not going to go over this stage in too much detail, partly because it's impossible.
Yeah, it's more just like it was random for the sake of it. But when you reach a point where it's too random, it's just like, okay, this isn't funny.
But if you know,
because then you revolve back to the Tumblr raw XD, I'm a cat dubstep laser.
At this point, you could see another major shift in how the internet worked. Specifically, memes no longer stuck around for more.
I swear I edited this video. Can someone actually, I don't know if one of the mods could find this or something. I swear to God I edited this video. I recognize it.
More than a few months. Where the MLG format survived for multiple years, trends had started to come and go faster than ever. This was true for a lot of things. YouTube, music, fashion. There were countless niches, subcultures and groups, but as everything became more transient and fragmented, it was harder than ever to connect or feel a part of it all. What we lost was a sense of shared identity. This was reflected in the rise of apps like TikTok, where everyone was funneled into highly personalized echo chambers of micro niches and sub-subgenres. Even going back to YouTube, this was when subscribers started to become irrelevant. The algorithm stopped rewarding a loyal following and began prioritizing videos that satisfied whatever fleeting interest you had that day. Why? Because the only metric—
This is really true. YouTube subs mean nothing because most people are subbed to like, over 50 channels. You get very dedicated people that have the notifications on their phone and then they watch the video. You've got that. But I've checked my analytics and I've talked to some YouTubers and I think it's about 7 to 10% if you're lucky actually come from the sub feed. The rest is just all recommended. Like if YouTube does not recommend you, it's over. Like
that matters is how long
I'm subbed to 250 channels. Yeah, exactly. Like that's why it doesn't work anymore.
you keep
It's just a fake number. It doesn't mean anything.
watching. This isn't always a bad thing, but it does detract from the feel.
Wait, one of the mods linked something. Did you find the video? Hasanka? Let me have a look. Might have found the MLG video that I worked on. I'm pretty sure I did. There we go. I told you. I told you I made this video. I told you. I can't play it because the music's copyrighted. 10 million years ago? Might as well be. 10 years ago. Crazy. Crazy. Yeah, thank you, Hasanka, for linking that. Appreciate it.
Feeling of community you used to get by curating your subscriptions and being served a blend of your
Also, 3.4 million views on that video. I fell off.
selected interests. Luckily,
What's Darkwood on now? 6 million? I fell off.
things like Discord still help with that, and you can join ours at any time. Regardless, we've come a long way, and I think I finally have some answers. Has the internet already peaked? Were you guys right? And
Well, I don't think the internet's peaked. We will claim it's peaked because we're old and we're boomers, but I feel that new gens that are now growing up with like Deltarune, they will say that's when they're like 20, they will say that's when the internet peaked.
was I able to
It's always this constant cycle of people having like a great period when they were teenagers, and then it's like, okay, this is the best part of the internet. Everything else sucks.
pinpoint a single year? Of course, the answer will always be it depends, and we have no idea what's coming in the future. But we can do a bit
I'm coping right now. I am coping.
better than just saying it's subjective. After all, it's pretty clear what's fun and what isn't. What made the internet enjoyable in the first place was personalization, entertainment, and community. What's eroded that experience is centralization, excessive moderation, and the feeling that every online space—
Thank you. Thank you for giving a small YouTuber like me a shout out. Thank you. You know what? I'll let you off the fact you're Australian. Cheers, mate.
is becoming overly corporate. With this in mind, I think we can safely
Dude, that was such a filler video as well. That was literally just for a sponsor obligation.
get the last period out of the way. Now, the mid-2010s. A great period for memes and content in general. Social media wasn't
We were saying L video just because he showed my video.
quite as dominant and
Thank
all-consuming
you, Ravioli, for the 20 months. Appreciate it. Do you
as it is today. And
remember when you had memes of the month on the meme calendar? Every end of the year? What? Did I have that? Am I that old? Am I getting dementia now?
it still felt like something that you used, rather than something that used you. But it was already evident that the internet was changing. Things like the adpocalypse exposed how fragile the system really was, and how the viability of content creation was becoming
I remember how iDubbbz would always call Philip DeFranco Philip DeFuckass. I always thought that was really funny.
increasingly tied to diligently following platform policy. By then, the idea of customizing your channel or even your Google homepage was well and truly dead. It was the era when personalization, previously a core tenet of the internet experience, took a back seat. So the early 2010s.
Yeah, I do love like old websites, the way they look. I mean, this is why I commissioned an artist to do stuff like that with our merch website. The kind of, you know, I just told him, I was like, dude, I love like PlayStation 1 demo discs. Can you do something for me? And he was like, hold my beer. And then he cooked that up. So, based.